Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I got some great news here. The Spirit Born is hitting for up to 20, 30, 40 trillion damage. There's a new tech discovered that makes this possible here, going absolute ham. Now clearing 110, 25 trillion even here, and many more numbers. This is also possible on Necromancer. Here's a 10 trillion hit on the Necromancer with some of those new boss powers. Crazy damage scaling with some combination. And we also have patch notes for the patch coming on Tuesday, as confirmed here by Adam Fletcher. And there are some amazing buffs and changes coming here for the Spectral Ash. This is like the resources that you get from your boss powers, which will basically allow us to get a good amount of reputation, a good amount of Forgotten Souls. There's Whirlwind buffs, there's more Spiritborn buffs, there's more buffs for all the classes. So we have a ton of cool stuff here to cover here. And the Spiritborns has been blasting now. Dronix here has cleared 110 with the highest clear here, using a new power combination here. And there's also some bug fixes coming to unyielding hits, making this potentially even crazier. So Spiritborn might be jumping up a few tiers here and potentially going to do like 115 or something after the patch. So it's going completely wild. You can see him here absolutely hammering through 110 and hitting for some insane numbers. And you basically have infinite AoE scaling. You exponentially increase your damage. You look how he melts that pack. Boom, dead. That was a pack on 110, instantly melted. And the way this works is there's like two powers, these two in combination with the Accursed Touch. And the big credits here to Macro Bio Boy, who posted a video about a day ago here. Infinite damage for any build revealed. So big shout outs. I'm going to link his video explanation below as well. But basically pretty simple. TLDR. You're basically using the Flesh Reaper, which has a damaging a vulnerable entity, removes the effect and stuns them. And you're combining this with the Accursed Touch. And for whatever reason, the Accursed Touch vulnerable effect does not get removed by this boss power. And players have basically abusing this mechanic interaction, where you basically just keep proccing your main boss power because you're constantly damaging a vulnerable target. You see it's already like creating a pretty big dot here. Me just attacking, it's already hitting for billions. And I'm a rogue, you know, I don't even scale like corruption damage. And then we're using the Varshan boss power here. Whenever we activate the boss power, which we do on literally every hit, there's no internal cooldown and the vulnerable effect never gets removed from this curse. So you basically just keep attacking and you keep triggering this Varshan effect with no cooldown. So this basically triggers all the time, and this triggers in AoE. So the more targets there are, every target will trigger an instance of this Varshan AoE attack, which then gets multiplied by the amounts of targets. Going completely crazy here, as you can see. Like, it's just like super cooked when they engage stuff, and you see how fast they melt here. Whenever he pulls them together, and you see the pack like boom, just losing like 25 trillion there. Actually completely crazy. And I don't think this build is near the max at all. And then there is this new patch that's coming that's cooking this even more. So again, you can do this on the Necromancer, because the Necromancer also has the Wither node here, because it's corruption damage. You can scale this like crazy with Wither, getting like even crazier multipliers here for the Necromancer. So the Necromancer also eating very good with this. Necromancer, Spiritborn, it's potential on all the classes, so we'll see. But Necromancer hitting for 10 trillion, Spiritborn hitting for like 20, there's like a 29 trillion there, 25 trillion, boom, like going completely wild and crazy here. And there is potentially even another buff. So we're gonna go under the patch notes here that are releasing on Tuesday, so just in a few days. And there's another fix here, which was also why the build that I rated S tier before the season started was not even working properly, because the aspect of unyielding hits, this is the Spiritborn that scales with armor, was not even working with the Varshan, the Belial, and also not with the Ashava poison power. So we are basically missing a quadruple, triple damage buff here if you were scaling the armor right. And this is also going to get addressed in the upcoming patch. Overall, it's a pretty big patch for Blizzard standards in terms of updating D4. So I'll link that below here, the full patch notes. So Spiritborn in general is getting a ton of buffs. Protector, this is the Gorilla Ultimate's getting more juiced. Then we have the key passives here, Adaptive Stance, going up 25. We have Vital Strikes, this is also the Vulnerable passive, going up almost double to 80%. Also more vigor, more healing, Prodigy's tempo is going up, more ranks to the skill. This is going to buff this Spirit-Born damage that we see here even further. So yeah, it's going to go pretty wild. You see, like, whenever they like pull it together and the DR dude melts, then the DPS always skyrocks, basically. So you see here, like, once they're together, boom, like, it's hitting there, like, 10 trillion, boom, 10 trillion again. And it just keeps going like this. So this is potentially getting buffed even stronger. There's a ton of bug fixes. There's buffs to spin to win Barbarian. So this is the Gore Devastating Aggressive Damage bonus is now based on damage per second rather than damage per tick. So this is a double damage for the Barb. And then there is another double damage for the Whirlwind Barb. This is the Dire Whirlwind. This aspect usually only gives you crit chance up to 100%, but now it's also giving you crit damage. So direct damage Barbs, no dots, just direct damage is eating good because it's getting a double from Gores. This is the crit build. And a double from Dire. So it's getting about 4x here, as if I'm understanding this correctly. Obviously, you need to use aspect, so you're going to lose a bit. But like triple damage or something, you're getting on direct damage. They're further juicing double swing as well. We will have to wait until the Crown of Lucion gets enabled again. But double swing is also eating very good. And just in general, Druid gets key passive changes here as well. They obviously want us to use the new helm. I don't think this is going to do much, but we're getting there. The Necro is also getting more buffs here to some of the damage bonuses. And Rogue is getting Poison Trap buffs. However, like, basically everybody and their mom is playing Death Trap because it's just like, you know, this build is just freaking crazy on the Rogue. So, yeah, I don't know like why people would want to play Poison Trap. But yeah, Poison Trap gets some buffs, so that's much welcome for sure. Good stuff. Sorcerer is also here getting some Ice Shard buffs for the Ale of Verglas, also going up in damage. And then here, probably the biggest change, and there might be some crazy mechanics with this, we'll have to see. A lot of people, including myself, have farmed a lot of this Spectral Ash. And we've been complaining and giving feedback that the Spectral Ash, you know, after you max all your boss powers, I'm pretty sure, let me know in the comments, guys, I'm pretty sure most of you have their boss powers maxed. And then you keep getting the Spectral Ash, but there's nothing to do with the Spectral Ash, right? So Blizzard has listened, and relatively quickly they implemented a new vendor here that sells you these new Oath Scrolls in exchange for Spectral Ash. The Oath Scrolls can be consumed to gain Irvin's Oath reputation. So it obviously has to remain to be seen how much reputation we're getting, right? But if you're unsure what we're talking about, I'm going to show you here. So you basically head into the Season City, and you have an infinitely going reputation cache here on every character. So you can just go here and you see I have 7 bags. I can just claim these bags. And these bags usually contain like a bunch of GA items and stuff. So you can see here, boom, there's a ton of loot. I also get a ton of souls. So this was already giving me like a couple hundred souls. I'm not sure exactly how many it is per bag. But this is giving you a ton of materials. And you see how many souls I already have because I was just like blasting some of this rep stuff. And like this is all GA items from those bags. So that's going to make us, I think, be able to turn in all the Spectral Ash. Got like, I have 100,000 crystals. We have 8,000 souls already. And some people have more than 1 million of these Spectral Ashes. And once you turn this in, this is going to give you a tremendous amount of Oath. And then we'll also have to see how this works on a new character. So what I'm thinking right now, like you can probably farm this mythic cache. Like if you have 1 million Spectral Ash, like you just make a new character, you turn in the Oath Scrolls, you juice all the stuff, you get the spark, you make a new character, you repeat. I don't know, like you're gonna get like, depending on how many ashes you have and how much these scrolls give, you're potentially gonna get like 20 mythics out of this. But we'll see. Maybe it doesn't work on a new character, right? That's just speculation. We'll test it again on Tuesday, as confirmed by Adam Fletcher. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Ton of other boss power changes. We'll see. Bug fixes, more stuff for the season journey. But yeah, the stuff here is going pretty good here and pretty wild right now. So very cool to see. Unfortunately, guys, there seems to be no bug fix for the duplication problem. So like every season, like it's tradition, we have a duplication problem in the game where people are just like duplicating materials. I even heard they're duplicating items again. This is like unconfirmed, but the materials, everything that's stackable is getting duped. You probably have seen it with the Belial mats, like people just throwing around like 99 stacks of those husks that are normally like very hard to get. So maybe that can be addressed at some point as well. But overall, I think class balance-wise, it's pretty cool to see. And we'll see if it's going to fix the Forgotten Soul problem that so many people have. We're definitely going to get a ton of them. But this is only a temporary measure until we run out of Spectral Ash again. And then you still get a few more souls, like right now. But the Forgotten Souls problem, for many people, might still exist. And then they have also mentioned, if you have ever like entered the Helltide, Adam Fletcher also mentioned that this is coming, the Horde wave. This is coming in the next patch, so you know, like, if you join the Hordes, like, it bugs out the wave counter, it bugs out, like, your ether counter, and this is all gonna get fixed, as confirmed here by Adam Fletcher as well. So they are definitely listening a lot, and we'll see if this or how these, you know, crazy mechanics here that we have on this boss power Spiritborn, if this was the intended to have no cooldown, and this is potentially gonna be the meta on almost all the classes, once we figure out even more ways to juice and scale it. And I mean, just look at this, like making a pool, pulling it together, and then rocking like into the multiple trillion numbers here. Like now it's starting to go down. When they also enter the vulnerable range, they're 10 trillion again. So yeah, this build's gonna go pretty nutty, guys. Actually, like almost speedrunning through 110 here with the Spiritborn. Potentially also catapulting the classes like Necro and Spiritborn up ahead of Barb and maybe even Druid. I don't think they're gonna beat the Sorks. Like, if you're watching the leaderboards, like, the Sorks are flying high, but Spiritborn sure is catching. I don't know if it's up to date. Yeah, Spiritborn sure is catching up. So we actually have basically 3-4 classes, like most of the classes almost matched. But this is a new tech on Spiritborn, and with the unyielding bug fixes, I'm thinking the Spiritborn gonna do 115, but we'll see. The only king that is far ahead here with multiple, not one, but multiple 117 cleans here, is the Sorcerer with the overpower snapshot 3% mechanic. We'll see what's going to happen with all of that. We mentioned this actually during the PTR in our tier list. Like, Sorcerer goes in, 1 in 33% chance to win, and the 97% chance to just leave the game, or just leave the pits. And basically just overpower snap the entire run, according to, and depending on other snapshots as well. So we'll see. I mean, all of these are like some pretty broken mechanics. So pretty sure they're gonna leave this in for now. But this mechanic, so Flash Reaper plus Varshan plus the Accursed Touch, is getting crazy. Again, shout out to Macro Boy. He goes into like a lot more details in his video. So I'll link that below here with the infinite damage. And he was doing this on Necromancer. Let's go, my friends. Good luck. And I'll be here on Tuesday testing the new patch from Blizzard with the Spectral Ash. Let's go. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.